All right, we are here with Patrick Wolf talking track. Patrick, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So you are a long and triple jumper,
Yes, sir.
and you are competing where?
I compete in Denmark. I'm at the junior national level in Denmark.
Nice. So talk about how you and track and field first started, how you guys met, and how you got into the jumps.
It's a bit of a funny story. I come from a kind of sports-based family. My mom's a former Olympic swimmer. She was at the Olympics in 1988 and 1992. But she went to college in America and met my dad, and so we moved. They moved back to Denmark and had me. And a big part of like Danish culture is playing soccer. And so I played soccer most of my life until I reached probably like 11 years old. And so my mom saw an article in the newspaper saying that track and field was looking for people at the local club. So she thought it was a good idea to start doing track to get in better shape so I could run better on the field for soccer. Um, but kind of the opposite thing happened. I started not liking soccer, and I actually started off doing high jump and really connected with high jump. And as that kind of started taking off, soccer fell out of the picture, and slowly got into the track and field and high jump. And then later on, I kind of, I don't know, fell off with high jump. I had some back issues. I was growing, a tall dude. I'm 6'3". So we kind of, that kind of faded away and got into the other jumps because I knew jumping was kind of my field. And yeah, long jump and triple jump have been taken off ever since then.
Wow. So how does the system work from, so I'm assuming you started around 11, 12 years old at track, right?
Yeah.
How does that work? So do you, is it the same system as high schoolers in the States? Like, are you familiar with the system here?
Yeah, I'm familiar with your
Okay.
system. Yeah.
So how does it
Um,
differ?
School and sports aren't necessarily connected in the same way as in the US, where y'all have teams kind of connected to the schools. We don't have that. We only have like local clubs that are kind of their own little uh, system. So you join the club, and from there are connections to the schools to make sure that when you reach an elite level, that you have more time for track and field practice and stuff like that, but still maintaining a high school level as well.
Nice. And so how does that work with education and balancing that out? Does like the school system let you out at a certain time, and or is the club system completely separate?
They're technically completely separate, but there's kind of like an overlooking system called Team Denmark, which kind of takes care of professional athletes within all sports. And so when you reach the elite level, you'll be a part of this Team Denmark program. And that through the Team Denmark program, you can be let off from school if you need to go to an international meet, for example. We have Nordic championships where Scandinavian countries compete against each other. And so that can usually take a weekend. And so if you need sometimes you get home late from meets and that kind of stuff, you can take the day off or at least take a class off and get in late to school and still be good.
Hmm. Okay. So tell us about your journey in the horizontal jumps. So you were introduced, I guess, 13, 14-ish, around there.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so yeah, what was your progression there?
Well, like I said, I kind of started off in high jump, and I always did long jump kind of on the side. Triple jump, not so much. I didn't really connect with it in the same way as I did high jump to start with. Then I had back issues. Like I said, I was growing, so I kind of fled towards the more horizontal jumps. And so it started with long jump, and I was kind of I didn't feel like I was connecting with it, and then all of a sudden I started off hitting that 6 meter jump, which is in that age is pretty good here in Denmark and the Nordic region. And from there it was just, I knew that was where I was going to be. I just had to just compete in long jump. The triple jump thing was kind of funny because like I said, I never really connected with it. And then we had junior national meets one year, and I remember it very clearly. I was kind of half-assing it, I was just kind of having fun and not really taking it too seriously. And all of a sudden, well, I hadn't realized yet, but I hit a 13, 16 meter jump. I'm not quite sure what that is in feet and inches, but
Okay.
that was pretty good for being 15
Yeah.
um, at that point. So I hadn't realized, and I just thought it's just a kind of subpar jump. And everybody was like dapping me up, saying, "Yo, you hit a nice one. That was a good mark." And I was just like, it wasn't really that good, to be honest. And it wasn't before afterwards when I saw the scorecards that it was a 13 meter and 16 centimeter jump. And I was like, whoa, okay, maybe there's something here. And so
Yeah.
I talked to my coach afterwards, and he was like, "Yo, I think you found out where you got to go, man. Maybe this triple jump thing is kind of your thing. I know you got long jump, but I think maybe triple jump is the place you're gonna want to be."
Yeah. And so, when it comes to the training, is it really specific type of training, or is it um, kind of more of a bigger group, or is it more isolated? How does the practice system work?
Well, track and field in Denmark isn't a very big sport at all.
Mm.
So training groups generally are fairly small, and well, it depends because it's all set up after age groups. So kind of like when in high school where you have middle school and that kind of stuff, and you're separated into those groups. The same thing here, but it's more like age groups. So you have well, our club starts all the way down from 4 to 6 years old, and then up
Wow.
to senior athletes. And usually the younger groups are a lot bigger because, well, we focus a lot here in the Nordic countries on a lot of body awareness and kind of movement in the young ages to kind of learn to coordinate the brain. And so a lot of parents find that very useful for their children in the young ages. And then, unfortunately, as a Nordic country, we have in regards to drinking, you can start buying alcohol when you're 18. So
Mm.
usually you'll start seeing people around 16. That's kind of where you separate the wolves from the sheep and
Yeah.
really see who's dedicated. And in track and field, and also a lot of other sports, it's very rare to see people kind of go all the way. Um, and so therefore, our training group is very small. I'm the only jumper as of right now in our training group, so I primarily train with sprint, but my coach also has experience with jumpers. So, but mainly it's very specific training. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Let's go! Dig! Dig! 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on now.
Every rep counts. Train stronger, recover faster with Compex Muscle Stim.
Nice. And so now you're for those in the States, you're a senior in school.
Yeah.
So what's the transition like now? So how are you going from senior to college route or the university route? How does that work?
Well, it's I kind of just continue where I'm at. So gradually we're going to progress. I'm already doing a lot of weight movements and very kind of specific training in regards to plyometrics and that kind of stuff. So mainly it's just kind of it's still progressing out of that kind of that road I'm already heading down, because there's not really well, I guess I have some like talent. There's kind of talent development groups and stuff, but mainly it's just sticking with your coach. And even if you do switch coaches, like national level coaches are often connected to clubs here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can generally, with regards to jumps, people have a tendency to kind of move towards the national coach and that club and stick around there. So I wouldn't be surprised if I do end up in a different city and a different club with a national coach.
Okay. So then does the university is it still tied in with sports how it is in the States, or is it different how high school is?
No, with regards to university, it's like in the States, it's private, but there's not necessarily a team connected to the university. So it's everything is just through clubs and through this kind of overlooking system called Team Denmark.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so what's next for you? Like, what are your PRs right now? It's an important number, right? And then
Yeah.
what's next on this calendar that you have for your training and development?
Well, so as of right now, my PR in the long jump is just under 7 meters. It's 6 meters and 94. In the triple jump, I have just under 14 meters. I have 13 meters and 81.
140, about 44 ish,
Yeah,
44 feet or
that
so.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. I
So
don't know
that's
how
where
I
I'm at
know
right now.
that.
So that's where I'm at right now. And with regards to what's going to happen next, I mean, obviously big meets are really the place I want to go. I think the obviously every athlete's biggest dream is the Olympics. I don't think it gets any bigger than that, but
Mm,
that's quite ahead in the future. So I like to take it. I've always said I'm going to take it one step at a time and see where things kind of lead me. I've always had a bit of a dream going to college since like I said, my mom's a former Olympic swimmer and she went to college. So that would obviously be a big dream come true to be able to go in American college, even if it's just for a semester, just go
mhm,
over there, kind of experience it. But obviously, like a scholarship and if a full ride is possible, I mean, that would be awesome. Not that it necessarily is, but you know what I mean. So I think that's kind of the next step is just figuring out where to kind of settle in. I'm probably going to take a gap year here from school when we finish here this summer and really focus on training and then see where that takes me.
mm. Like, so what's the value of the gap year? I had an athlete, Dominic Mutola, take the gap year last year, and I understood it. But
Mm.
most people don't know about the gap year or that it's even a thing. So can you describe that and what you during that time?
Yeah, so well, the kind of the tradition here in Denmark is you take the gap year after you finish high school because usually you've gone through, elementary, middle school, and so on and so forth, and through high school. And so when you're finished, it's been a lot of years. So just mentally, I think as an athlete, you really benefit from taking a gap year because you don't have to focus on both track and school. You can just,
Mhm,
if you really want to focus on track, you can just focus completely on track. But like I said, the tradition here in Denmark is actually you also go out and work and you save up money. The gap year is a really good investment money wise because if you take a gap year, usually that means after the gap year you're ready to kind of start your university degree. And so therefore, if you have to move to a different city, you have some money to start on so you can pay rent in your own apartment and that kind of stuff. So a gap year for me it's definitely gonna be track focused, like no doubt. But I mean, it's also gonna mean I have time for jobs and visit family and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just stuff that within the last 3 years, definitely for me, high school wise, have kind of been down prioritized because I mean track just takes up time and I mean school takes up time and then those two combined you really you don't really have much time left. I mean you have your vacations every once in a while but it doesn't really get the job done in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. So describe what the track meets are like. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same, but I mean, a high school track meet. What is that environment like? Are there certain events that are more popular than others? Um, Tell us that atmosphere.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like a track and field meet here is it's very open-minded. Everybody is kind of, although you're competing against each other, everybody's always happy for each other no matter what. So even if the guy who comes in last place on 100 meters, but he gets a PR, everybody's happy for him because he got a PR. So there's always supportiveness from each other. And like horizontal jumps competitions, everybody's clapping each other up. We're trying to get each other hype. So I mean, the atmosphere is great, and I'm sure that's very much like what high school meets are in the States as well. But there's also definitely a level of seriousness, and especially lately, as the kind of the track and field kind of society is trying to get up in the ranks of the Team Denmark organization, so we can get more capital for support and that kind of stuff for our top tier athletes. So I feel like there's definitely a level of seriousness we're starting to take with regards to things like anti-doping are getting introduced very early now in Team Denmark classes and that kind of stuff. And also like just the way meets are set up with call rooms and that kind of stuff, really prepping young athletes for what the international experience is going to be like. Because I feel like things like call room, where you have to sit and wait and be taken out to your competition area is definitely a place where you have to be really mentally strong to be able to handle that kind of scene.
So before we go, tell me about one of your most memorable track experiences. Maybe a PR or something where you did really well.
Oh, I think I have a couple actually. So the one that probably stands the most clear to me was in 2018. The season before that, season 2017, I'd had a pretty good season. I'd taken a couple centimeters on my PR. I'd ended out with I think it was 642 meters as my long jump PR. So fast forward to 2018, and it's the first meet of the season, and I mean, we'd been on a training camp and everything was just, flying. It was great. And yeah, so we get to the first meet and I'm feeling good. I'm like, today's the day. And long jump was in the evening. And so I kind of set my eye on competing at European Junior Championships that year. I was like, everything's been going well. I think I can take half a meter on my PR. And yeah, the first three jumps were kind of really messy. They were a little bit all over the place, but the third jump was actually a PR. I think I jumped 652 or something like that. And then the next three jumps, I just kept on going. Then it was like 667 and then 678. And I'm like, yo, I got to hit this 7 meter, this next one. And I end up jumping 694. I'm like, no, like on one side, I'm like, yes, this is a great PR. And on the other side, I'm like, God damn it, I'm 6 centimeters from going to the European Junior Championships. And I was like, I got out of the sand pit and heard the result, and I was throwing my spikes all over the place, and I was mad. And my coach was like, what are you doing? You just got a half a meter of a PR. What are you doing? I'm like, I didn't get 7 meters. I was here to get 7 meters. And so I just started chasing 7 meters, and yeah, the next couple of meets were just kind of lackluster, and I didn't end up getting the 7 meter mark. So that was, yeah. But I just remember that meet standing out so clear. It was the feeling of it was just such a mixed emotions. I mean, it was crazy. Oh man. And the other one is probably competing and for as a Danish athlete for the first time, like having Denmark on your chest and saying, yo, I'm a national level athlete. I mean, nothing beats that. And every time you pull in the national team suit is just, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's gotta be amazing. Gotta be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, really. And even if it's just as like a junior, it's still, you get to wear the professional gear and everything, and you get to have the windsuit and the speed suit and the tights and everything. Oh man, it's a great feeling.
It's almost like that's a little bit more important than the medals. It's like just getting the whole bag and the kit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to keep the kit. It really sucks. We only get to borrow it. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I mean, I don't know if you watch Mitch Moden on YouTube. He's a decathlete.
I haven't seen it.
He does daily vlogging. It's pretty cool. But when you see those guys just get the big suitcase with all the gear, and you just sit like there, oh, I wish we had that. I wish. But every time you get a little bag, and you just have to, you got to return it when the meet's over. God.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I
wish we had
taking pictures in it, right? It's still pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know what? One last question. What are your favorite triple jump, long jump spikes to wear?
I've actually been a Nike guy, but all my Nike spikes keep on breaking, and I'm tired of it. My long jump spikes, I can't tell you how many times I've ripped through the lace holes. They just rip. Like not even half a season, and the first lace hole, it just says pop. I'm like, am I really gonna have to order new spikes again? So the last couple of seasons, I've had to swap my spikes. So one has been yellow, one has been blue, and the next season one has been blue and the one has been white, and it's kind of interchanging. But no, I'm testing out Adidas now, and I feel like I might have hit the spot. I think they might be more resilient than the Nike ones. I wish the Nike ones were resilient, but they're just not.
Thank you for taking the interview and letting us know how the experience is overseas for any athletes who are looking to travel abroad or vice versa to come this way.
For sure.
So really good information.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. All right, we'll be talking to you soon.
Talk to you, man.
See you.